Erik Rock, mental toughness. What is winning? Take one.
People talk shit about you. How does that make you feel? What do you want to do? Go win. Your connection to any emotion that doesn't serve you should be directly linked to just go win. They don't believe in you. Go win. They talk behind your back. They hurt you. Go win. They quit on you. Go win. They laugh at you. Just go win. Greatest leverage you can have in life is just winning. It's a simple emotion. It's a simple way to reframe anything you don't like into an actionable thought that'll get you to rise out of your paralyzing old self. Just go win. Shut the voice and go win. I'm gonna stack this now. This is what I'm doing today. I'm stacking it with something else that'll serve you. Go love. They talk shit. They're jealous. They want you to lose. Love them. They sabotage you. Love them. They hurt you. They quit on you. They lie to you. Just love on them. You don't have time to hate. That energy is a wasted resource. It's foolish. It's beneath you. Way beneath you. Just love them. Do not be jealous. Do not be resentful. Do not be envious. Just go win. Go love. This is all meant to free your soul. Forgiveness is for you. Frees your soul. Everything I just gave you is a way to free your soul a moment when you're about to lose emotional stability. Go win. Go love. This is how you thrive in life. Everything you have is right here. Every resource in the world is right where you need it. It's right here. You don't need shit to live an incredibly abundant life. You just need to reframe the thoughts that steer most people right off the rails. This is power. You want to get powerful in life? You want to live on that high frequency where everything comes to you? Pure abundance, it's in your heart, it's in your soul. It's directly connected to how you think. It's the emotions that steer you away from your greatest self, your highest power. Go love, go win, go thrive, go slay.
I've evolved this way over 40 years. Winning is a complex topic. When Ben Newman asked me to give my take on mental toughness, on winning, my first glance, first thought, it pours around me. It's in every piece of content I produce. At the surface of everything I even say, the core of it all, it's about winning. It's how to get what you want out of life. Whether I like it or not, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. And I found that some of the greatest people that I've ever met, it pours out of them. You can feel it when they walk in the room. It's almost hard to describe. It's big energy. It's confidence. It's being unfuckable with. That's that frequency. When you're around greatness, you know it. When you're around mental toughness, you know it. When you're around winners, you know it. Mental toughness and winning, they're like two snakes that are coiled together, intrinsically tied together for life. They go hand in hand. One cannot really exist without the other. But when you really want to get into the true meaning behind mental toughness, the true meaning of winning, it's impossible to not go to the person's story. If you want to know where winning is actually birthed, you got to go to a dark place. I'm about to tell you my story. It's funny, this is a story never really told. It's taken me a long time to get here. My story is one of murdering the kid that I thought had to be destroyed in order for me to win. My hope is that inside my story, you will hear something that triggers something in yours. Adversity is universal. Pain is universal. Trauma is universal. All these things are tools that can be leveraged. These are powerful assets that you can use to win, to forge mental toughness. Rock bottom can be one of your greatest gifts, one of your greatest fuel sources. But you must decide. This is a decision. Some of the best people that I've ever met have the worst circumstances, have started from the worst rock bottoms in life. Listen, you guys, winning doesn't always start with passion and purpose and love. Oftentimes it starts with the worst emotions. It's hate, it's envy, it's fuck you energy. Before I get into my story, I want to give you a framework that I've learned to leverage for years. It's simple, but it's highly effective. Now, winning is a complex topic. It can be in many respects. I'm going to make it really simple. It's this idea of being bold, courageous, consistent action. BCCA, bold, courageous, consistent action. We've all heard of BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. I argue that BCCA, bold, courageous, consistent action, is the building blocks of winning. It's the building blocks of mental toughness. I want you to feel that feeling, that anxiety, and just stop and ask yourself one question. What would bold do right now? What would courage do right now? What would consistency do right now? How would action solve this problem? Listen, when you reframe a stressful situation or a problem that most people fold to in life, these small things over a lifetime, they compound dramatically. If you have a framework to get yourself into an emotional state of a winner, where you can remain calm in the storm, equanimity, this idea of slowing down time when the pressure's on, becoming a coffee bean that transforms its environment when the heat and the pressure hits. This is a framework that can reposition you, restabilize you, and help you win. So what is winning really? Listen, there's countless books on this. Every great person that's ever lived talks about it. Every one of these people has powerful connections to winning and mental toughness. I want you to do something real quick. Hold up your cell phones. You guys, this whole thing started on a cave wall. All the way back to the caveman days, information started on a wall. Ancient Egyptians wrote it on walls, and then it was papyrus where they could hand it around. And then the Romans created roads where information could travel from far distance to far distance. And then it was the printing press where for the first time ever information could spread to the common folk. Arguably one of the most powerful inventions in the human experience ever, because for the first time ever, the average person can have access to information. And then on to the Renaissance, where wealth, knowledge, and information spread and flourished. And then the Industrial Revolution. And then the moon. Information for the first time ever could travel outside of this planet. In 2024, hold up this cell phone. You have all the information in the world. You guys have no excuse. It's not information that's holding you back. Everything in the world is right at your fingertips. So what is it? So what is winning? Why is winning so hard? Why is mental toughness so hard? The data supports it. If I could give the exact blueprint, the exact formula on winning, you might be inspired for 2 days, but most people, they'd be right back to the same habits. Why is winning so rare? Well, we know rare is rare for a reason. Rare is supposed to be rare. Winning is rare. There's an expensive ticket price for winning at the highest levels, and most people aren't willing to pay it. Everybody wants to get rich, but nobody wants to go through the bloody process. And the stats tell the truth. 98% of people will die without achieving their dreams. 2/3 of Americans right now couldn't come up with $1,000 if their life depended on it. Only 2% of people at the age of 65, the retirement age, say they're financially secure. The average American right now is over 100K in bad debt, and 1 in 3 Americans say their only path to financial freedom would be if they won the lottery. The statistics don't lie. 98% of people die without achieving their dreams. You know what that means? They die with massive regret. Only 2% of people at the age of 65 are financially secure. That means 98% of them are struggling. So why is winning so rare? Winning can be complex, but at its core, it could be really simple. One of the ways I define powerful winning is being unfuckable with. Being able to walk into a room, nobody can touch you. That power of confidence. Winning is simply being happy. Getting to a place in life where you're actually happy, where you're not struggling, where you're free. I think if you're happy and you don't care what people think, you're unfuckable with, you don't give a shit about what people think. It's a powerful connection to winning. You're already halfway there. For me, you guys, I wasn't born this way. I would argue the seed of every great man was birthed somewhere at your rock bottom. Whatever your rock bottom is for you, it's at your rock bottom. I've had a lot of rock bottoms in life. I had a tough childhood, born to a single mother. Again, there's no victim here. But this is where the burn started. Having a dream as a young kid is very important. For me, that dream died when I got injured in baseball. That dream that baseball was gonna be my ticket out of hell, my ticket away to tell people that didn't believe in me, fuck you, watch me. And it died. Getting prescribed Oxycontin as a teenager, watching your dream die, losing your soul and looking at the mirror, not being able to identify you, that's my first big rock bottom. Going into college addicted secretly to pain pills, terrible rock bottom. Selling drugs, trafficking massive amounts of cocaine to fund my drug addiction when nobody knew, that's a rock bottom. Getting busted by the DEA at 23 years old, that's a rock bottom. Wearing a wire to a guy's house that put a gun to your head a year earlier because he thought you were wearing a wire, that's a rock bottom. You know, I never told this story before because I thought it disqualified me. I thought if anybody knew the truth of my past when I started winning, that they wouldn't like me, they wouldn't love me, they wouldn't see me. And I think back now to where the real seed of winning started was that child that was just desperate to be seen, that was gonna leverage baseball and all the hard work to become somebody. And then that dream died, and now I'm a crackhead, literally, doing lines of blow off of sticky toilets at AM PM, getting busted by the DEA with a pill problem so bad that even when I got probation and I had this tight line where I was facing 25 to life, I still had the audacity to tape warm fake piss to my inner thigh under my sack and go into my probation officers every week to piss, narrowly escaping being caught every single week for almost an entire year while I still sold drugs. That's a rock bottom. I finally got my life together, and it was the gym that saved it. It was the endorphins that saved it. This is when I made a decision. I wish it was a divine moment, but I'd had so many rock bottoms. I think I just finally was sick of living this fucking horrible life, living a lie, manipulating everything. You guys, I did some of the worst stuff, stole medicine from my grandparents, still breaks my heart. Heartbreaking shit I did through those years that I have buried. I have not talked about this stuff in 20 fucking years. And here I am. This is where the winning starts. I had a probation violation that was an accident. It really wasn't my fault. I was clean at the time. I'd been about a year into a clean state, and I got pulled over by a DA cop that had something against me. I was dating his ex, and I was finally having my life on track. And they went in my house and they raided it, and they found a clip with hollow points in it that had been there for a handful of years. During my original bust, they never took it. And here I am, getting hemmed up with my Miranda rights being read to me, headed to jail with no bail. I sat in there for 3 months thinking there's no way I'm gonna get off. This is all misunderstanding. This is an accident. Even though I deserved it, I did. And there I am in a courtroom with a judge who's about to sentence me to 25 years. As I'm staring up at my lawyer, begging him to do something, looking at him saying, what are you doing? He's not saying a word. And at that last moment, my lawyer paused and said, permission to approach the bench. And it was in that moment, I could feel my knees start wobbling and shaking. They talked for a few minutes, and the judge stood up and he said, young man, I was just about to sentence you to 25 years in prison. Stand up. I couldn't stand up. My legs were so wobbly, I will never forget that courtroom day. My dad had to reach back because he was the only guy there for me, and he pulled my ass up. And I felt his hand touch my shoulder. He said, it's all right, buddy. He says, if you spit on a sidewalk, you're going to prison. Get out of my courtroom. This was it, you guys. This was the ultimate rock bottom. I was so shook in that moment, so paralyzed with who I'd become, how low I'd sank. When I walked out of that courtroom, I didn't have much. My apartment got repoed, my car got repoed. I had nothing. I went back to my parents' house, slept on a couch, and this is where Erik Rock, that you know today, was born. It was in this moment that I was born. This is the fire beneath all the lessons that actually is where the real gold's at. This was it. My first job was at Amazon in a building that's 1 million square feet with 10,000 employees. I set my eyes on a simple goal. For the first time in my life, I was gonna be the #1 at something. They would rank the top pickers in the building, top 20 every single week. And every week it was the same guy at number one. His name was Sam. He was a 6'3" dude. And this was the first decision I made that I'm going to win. No resources, terrible circumstances, but yet I made a decision right then and there that I was going to win. Now I had to work very hard to be number one in that building. In fact, it took me a long time to get on the board. And the only way that I could even get on the board of the leaders was I had to take my little cart in a 1,000,000-square-foot building and for 10-hour shifts run from item to item as hard as I could. And even that wasn't good enough. I would hustle and hustle and hustle for months. And finally I broke in the top 10, then the 5. And then magically one day it happened. I clicked number one, boom. From that day forward, I never gave up that spot of number one, and it taught me something. This was the moment, this is the thing, this is the one decision. One decision. I'm gonna be the number one at something. I'm gonna be the number one picker in the building. What that really equated to was, because I wasn't nearly as talented as the guy that had worked there 10 years, who had reclaimed that one spot for years. I had to outwork everyone in the building. It was as simple as that. And that fire that was born in me, that reconnected to that child that was never seen, sort of became rebirthed, and I got to recreate myself with one decision. I'm gonna be number one. That became the fuel source and the one decision that I would live with for the rest of my life, all the way to this day in this room with you. One decision. And now that hardest worker in the room, it turned me into the most valuable person in the room. And when you become the most valuable person in the room, people start to notice how you leverage that type of attention when you're the hardest worker, the most valuable person. You become the MVP. People want to be near you. They want to give you opportunity. Your ability to start learning, growing, getting near people that you want to be, seeing how they do life. You start absorbing that energy, and all of a sudden shit starts happening. You start getting leverage. You start gaining ground. You start gaining momentum. You start forging real mental toughness. But it's that fuel, it's that fire that Ben always talks about. That's the core of the whole thing. Without that, this information is garbage. And in fact, most people never tapped into the fuel source that I'm tapping into every single day. And that's why people are such letdowns in life. That's why they don't get what they want out of life, because they have not attached the right story and the right emotion to what they want. I attach such big dragons to inaction itself, that the fear of the action is not as great as the fear that I've created, and that puts me in a constant state of action. Listen, the framework that I've created, this idea of being bold, courageous, consistent action, that was birthed after years of just doing one thing right all the time, and that was bleeding in every room I entered, being the hardest worker in every room I entered, and naturally starting to understand that it will soon become being the most valuable person in every room you enter. Picking up trash when you don't think someone's walking, that's part of the equation. How you treat people in a coffee shop, how you tuck in chairs, how you leave your fucking hotel room. That's a standard. Being the most valuable person in the room means you don't leave it for someone else to do. You create standards, you create the environment, and I had to recreate who Erik was, and in fact, I murdered the old Erik. I've been saying that for years, that I murdered the old Erik. And in fact, as I got into entrepreneurship, sleeping on a blow-up mattress in an upstairs office with my new wife for over a year, building all the scar tissue and connectivity through my customers, getting good at what I'm doing, become the best at what I do. Having this beautiful connector in retail, furniture and jewelry that connected me to people, it allowed me to offer value to other people. I started learning how the game works. I started getting near titans in business, people that really I admired. That became my social circle, and then I kept rising, I kept rising, and I kept rising. And that's what led me to you. Ed Milet really challenged me to step in light, use my voice, use my story. He was the first mentor I'd ever hired. And that's where my life really changed and really transformed. Now I had this bold, courageous, consistent, action-packed life that had led me to so many places, but I realized in that moment I was still playing small because I was not impacting. This is where the story gets really good. Your ability to actually go pursue your highest and best use in life, that's what winning is. But it's that fuel that was burning from that first decision that was the thread that hung through the whole story that carried the most value. And that's the hard part to teach. That's the hard part to give away. This is my story. It's funny, for the last few years, I was on many stages, pouring my heart out, talking about winning, talking about mental toughness, talking about discipline, but I never told my story, the one that you just heard. For a child that was dying to be seen for most of his life, it wasn't. It's ironic that for so many years, I fought so hard to not see that child that screwed up. And I told myself for many years that I'd murdered the old me. Sounds great. That was part of my winning formula. But I only realize now, it's that child that's still living inside me, somewhere deep inside me that's hurting, that just needs to have a hand on its shoulder, that screwed up, that didn't mean to make those mistakes. You know, the healing process of the full capacity of winning means really being authentic, being transparent. It's revealing the racket that you've been running. I would argue this racket got me to win at the highest levels. I would argue you could leverage this fire all the way to the top. But it's not till you open up and realize how many other people that are really hurting that you could affect because of the story. It's the story that moves people. It's the story they can connect to. It's not the information, it's the emotion of the story and how they can connect meaning to their story to go do bold, courageous, consistent actions that are gonna lead them to everywhere they wanna go in life. Listen, you guys, bold, courageous, consistent action is the simple framework I want you to take home. But it means nothing at all if you do not attach the right fuel source to the core of that message. I'm gonna ask you guys right now, what is your fuel source? Like really, what is the fuel source? What is the meaning you put behind your actions? Who are you? No, really, who are you? Why are you here? What is the meaning of your life? When the right person asks the right question at the right time, it can change your life. Go do something with it.